Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Here behind me lies a 2023 C8 Corvette with a whopping 200 miles on the odometer. I just picked this car up from around the Buffalo, New York area and brought her down to Southwest Pennsylvania, and it was a super fun trip. The car here behind me is no $120,000 Z06 or anything like that. It is honestly, it is just a Stingray 1LT, and honestly, that's perfectly fine with me. My 99 C8 Corvette is a base model car as well, and I freaking love that thing. These are probably some of the most affordable mid-engine vehicles that you're even going to buy in today's age. Something like this here runs in like the mid-60s, so like I think this car here was like $66,000 prior to tax and everything like that, as opposed to like a Z06 that's $120,000. Or there's a lot of dealerships here in Western Pennsylvania selling these used with like 20,000 miles still for like 100K. So honestly, for what this car is, I think it is a super affordable car, if you will. And we're going to get into some details here in a second. However, like I said, 200 miles on the clock at this current moment, and I can tell you for sure there are already some things in this car that I freaking love, and I'm going to show you guys that here in a separate video. And then there are also a couple things that I've picked out so far that I have no freaking clue what GM was thinking when they designed this car, and we'll get to that in another video. And then honestly, one of my favorite videos I plan on filming next for next week's upload will actually be a comparison between my 1999 24-year-old Corvette versus this 2023 200-mile-old C8 Corvette right here. So like I said, we're gonna get into those things in the next few uploads. However, this video here is just like welcoming this Corvette onto the channel, and I wanna show you guys around the car and some of the features that I have found already. Alright, so just to reiterate, this is a 2023 Chevrolet Corvette C8 generation, if you will. It is a 2LT Stingray trim package, and it's not like a Z06 or anything crazy, so I think it has like 490 horsepower or somewhere along those lines. Like I said, honestly, I didn't do a crazy amount of research before picking this up. It is in torch red, so my 99 C5 is also in torch red, so a super nice color. And honestly, you would think everything would have like black wheels because all the accents, trim accents and everything are black. However, honestly, I think these wheels that are on this car are super sexy the way they are. Like, they are a really nice like gray gunmetal style-ish wheel, if you will. I guess since I spoke about the wheels, I'll come this way. So up front it's actually a 19, and then in the rear you have a 20, whereas of course like my C5 came with a 17 and an 18. I upgraded those to C6 wheels that are 18 and a 19. But yeah, so up front here looks like GM's running some Michelin Pilot Sports, which from my understanding are some pretty nice tires. Up front, what are we running? A 245/35 on a 19, and then the rear I think these are 305s. They're 305/30 on 20-inch wheel, of course. And then so you can see some massive brake calipers, and then they even have like, looks like the helpers in the rear on the back of the car. So being a Stingray, I think it's kind of cool. They actually have a Stingray like emblem logo on the back. Sequential turn signals, kind of like how the Ford Mustangs do. I'll show you that here in a second. They are still doing, Corvette is still doing, you know, 4 exhaust tips. However, of course, instead of being in the center now, they are now on the sides. Rear see-through panel for the engine, which I think is super cool. We'll pop the trunk here in a second so you can see that. This thing, just like my 99, is a Targa top. So the top actually comes off the car. I want to say it stores in the rear, just kind of how mine does as well. Really nice features here for the door trim. The door handles are hidden, so they're actually up underneath here. So you grab that to open the door, which is actually kind of cool. Cool looking Corvette logo up front here. Looks like you do actually have some splitters and stuff like that on the front end. Very clean, very cool looking car. Like I said, we'll turn the lights on here in a second. Actually, I'll do it right now. But color match mirrors, just like mine, they do have actual turn signals and everything on them. Fuel door, all the fun stuff. Let's get lights on somehow. Bam, that probably should do it. All right, so rear tail lights, like I said, they're actually pretty neat, and they are sequential. Let's see if I can turn one of these on. That's cool. That might not work. Flashers. All right, like I said, the turn signals are sequential, which I think is actually super, super cool. Turn signals in the mirrors, which obviously I'm a big fan of that, being in the truck gang. And then for the front, I actually like the way GM did the front here. They are OLED, you know, headlight housings and everything themselves. And then with the turn signal, it's also integrated in with like the OLED. So I think that is a super sharp setup right there. All right, trunk and the frunk. Press both those buttons right there. We'll do the frunk first because I think it's cool. The frunk, that's where your engine would normally go. That's where mine goes in my other Corvette. However, plenty of space up here. Windshield washer fluid, not sure what that is yet, didn't look. You do have a light, and looks like a 12 volt, like a cigarette charger type deal. And comes with some stuff there. So frunk is kind of cool. You do actually close that. You have to press on that to close, and I say that because in the rear you actually don't need to. So pull this fella up. You do actually have actual trunk space. And like I said, this, I'm fairly positive this is where the Targa top goes. And then there she is, man. There is your 6.2 liter Corvette engine. And like I said, watch this. So if you put this one down, it actually closes by itself, which is also super, super cool. So honestly, I think that's about it for the exterior, because like honestly, the majority of the cool features of the car is on the inside. Now the car obviously looks cool from the exterior, however, all the cool stuff, all the cool gadgets and technology is on the inside. All right, so stepping inside the car, you are greeted with a interesting door chime, and the door sill itself actually says Stingray, which is kind of cool. Doors are nice. Honestly, I love that GM has a full black interior, including the headrest, because like I hate getting in cars, especially nice cars, when they have like a tan interior and stuff like that, like a tan roof and everything, like black seats and everything, but then the headliner and everything's tan. I hate that. So I love that GM did do everything black on this, which is nice. Bose sound system, that is of course through all the Corvettes and a lot of the other premium GM brand, or GM vehicles, if you will. Like I said, storage on the side, small storage component there. You got storage here, the buttons for the front and the trunk, then door unlock and lock. And this is actually how you get out. You get out right here. You actually press the door, you press that button to actually open the door when you're inside. Automatic windows up and down, and then just your mirror controls here. If I go this way underneath, obviously you just see standard accelerator pedal, gas, well, accelerator pedal and brake. And then you do have your lighting controls for how bright you want the dash to be. Then you also have your parking brake. Little cubby here, not sure what that is for. I don't think you can really put anything there. However, seats are actually pretty nice. So there's a super deep bolster in these. They definitely hold you in the seat pretty nice. Corvette logo up top here, and then same thing down below. The bolsters are freaking huge. They hold you in. You're sitting nice and down and low, and then you do have seat controls here. Climbing on into this bad boy, the biggest thing and the first thing that I noticed is the steering wheel. The steering wheel is like a square, you know, as opposed to like a standard round steering wheel. You do have, of course, your paddle controls right here. This, I'll show you here in a second, this controls everything on this side of the dashboard. You have your plus and minus for your volume of the radio, changing your stations, and then all this stuff here, of course, for cruise control and whatnot. Standard knob on this side for turn signals and lighting. Standard knob on this side for your wipers and everything like that. And then this is kind of neat. This is actually where all the air comes out. So all your HVACs, this is where your heat and your AC come out. There's one there, one right here, which is actually kind of nice because while you're resting your hand, you actually have air there. And you have them, of course, on the passenger side as well. I haven't done this yet. All right, standard glove box there, of course. Right here, you actually do have some storage as well. I already have something plugged in, actually the GoPro. So you have storage there. 2 cup holders right here, which just closes and uncloses. And then you have some kind of storage here with a speaker here as well. So passenger seat looks about the same, haven't sat in it obviously. And then everything on the door side also looks the same as well. Standard rear view mirror, OnStar, all that stuff. Standard mirrors looks like. I am happy that GM finally put LED lights on the inside of their vehicle. So if I actually start this thing up, there we are. I'll close this too so we don't have the door chime. GM does have a new chime and everything like that, which is actually kind of nice, and you could hear it too when you put the turn signals on. It actually like comes out of the speakers or something like that. It's very, very nice. So this huge center console thing, this is kind of supercar-esque, if you will. All of these buttons here have to do with the HVAC. BMW. These are all HVAC controls. So this is where you're, you can see here, son of a gun. I'm just trying to mute it. All right, so this is all the HVAC controls, passenger, driver, of course, and then all that fun stuff. And you could also access that stuff here through the menus as well, of course. Here, this is actually kind of interesting. Here's your park, reverse, neutral, drive, and then manual mode, which of course lets you shift with pedal shifters. And then traction control off, and this is your mode. So mode is obviously changing the way the car drives. So right now, the car and everything is in just like touring mode, and so you can see kind of how the dash is set up with touring mode, time, temp, oil pressure, mileage on the vehicle, the actual engine temperature itself, miles to go, and then like I said, these buttons here adjust everything on this side. So performance, audio, maintenance, options, all that fun stuff. And then of course on the middle is just going to be your standard tachometer, and you know, currently you're in all 8 cylinders, and you know what gear you're in. So if I obviously go to drive, which you pull, you'll see now that goes to D and 1 because it's in first gear. So go that back to park, she'll shift back into park. So like I said, this is the modes. So this is like standard touring mode. If I actually, you could probably see here, there's a little knob. If I twist this knob to the right, it'll actually go into sport mode, which you'll see how the dash changes, and then you'll see here what happens. So steering gets pushed up, engine shifting goes up, brake feeling goes up, and engine sound goes all the way up as well. And then now you can see and monitor your G-forces, oil temp, all this stuff's the same. All the stuff for the trip's the same, just like goes red. Tachometer changes a little bit, and you could do it again, flip it again, and it goes into track mode, and you'll see all these settings are now all the way up. So maximum brake feel, maximal brake and engine shifting, maximum steering, and of course engine sound again. And now you can see it goes to kind of like a race car-esque, if you will, tachometer. You now have oil pressure there, your temps here. Now you're monitoring your tire pressure for track purposes, and of course now park and your speed. So that's all the way over to the right. Now if I start going back over to the left, that goes back to sport mode. This goes back to touring, which will actually shut off pretty much everything except for the engine shift. You go over one more time, that'll allow you to adjust these where you want them to be, and go over again. It puts you into like, I guess, inclement weather stuff. So I don't know what it does as far as, yeah, it looks like it takes the engine shift all the way down as well. So not sure exactly what it does 100%, but now you can monitor your tires and everything again in winter mode, I guess, if you will. So going back over to standard mode, which is just touring, that's how I drove this thing the entire way home. So there's also one more feature on the steering wheel that's called Z. So if you turn Z on, it lights Z up, and what that does is it puts all of your personal settings how you like it, I guess, if you will. So if I go back into the My mode, you can adjust the settings, and anytime you hit Z, it'll put those settings up on the dash, which is pretty cool if you ask me. I unfortunately had to switch over to my iPhone because for some reason I'm having some GoPro problems. What I wanted to do now is actually go for a little drive, just to kind of show you guys. And honestly, the car is fairly quiet for what it is. Now you could definitely feel it when you do get on it. You can definitely hear it a little bit when you do get on it. One of the features that I definitely like about this is you could see the fenders. You can see the front fenders when you drive, and it just gives you a really thick presence feel, if you will. It gives you a big presence that you're driving, obviously, like a pretty sick sports car. And then same thing in the rear view mirrors. When you look in the mirrors, you can actually see the tail end of the car, which honestly I think looks freaking awesome. So like I said, honestly, car drives super nice. It's very responsive, if you will, and I'm sure it gets more responsive every time you turn the mode up to sport mode or track mode, and we will get into those modes here at some point. However, like, I'm kind of weird about breaking in vehicles, and I'm not one that just gets in and beats on a car. I don't know, it's just it's a weird thing I grew up with, I guess. But the car drives very nice. It's very comfortable, if you will, and I don't know, guys, I think it's pretty sweet. So alright, so we'll put the car in track mode, not track mode, sport mode. I'm not obviously on any kind of racetrack, so this will intensify the steering, this will intensify the shifting and whatnot, and this will also, of course, intensify the braking feel and maximize the engine sound, which I think is awesome. So like I said, the whole dash ends up getting lit up red. You can now monitor G-forces and all that fun stuff. So all we're waiting for at this point is the light to turn green. Good to go. Yeah, buddy. Freaking awesome. I love it. It's very, very nice. Very nice car. And honestly, that's about all I got for you. Like I said, I just wanted to show you guys the car. I know I'm not the best at like showing detail, because like I film and I think I do so great, then I review the footage and then I'm like, oh wait, I forgot to talk about the touch screen. I forgot to talk about how soft the seats are, stuff like that. But honestly, I don't know, I lose it when I'm on camera and when I'm filming. So like the video if you haven't already, subscribe, join the family, please. You know, every subscription obviously helps the channel do a little bit better. Small channels like mine helps those grow. So hope you liked it. Stay tuned, because like I said, I do want to do a comparison between this and my 99 C5, and then I also want to do a video talking about all the cool things I found about the car, and I do want to do a video about all the stuff that kind of sucks about this car. So thanks guys, peace.